Hey everybody, it's Kristina from Kristina's Crafts, and I'm going to be making a Mother's Day gift today. And what I'm going to do is I have 3 of these foam blocks that I got from Dollar Tree, and then this little wood, I guess, just a wood piece. It's not a sign or anything. It's pretty thick. And then I have 4 of these craft blocks, and I'm going to be painting them all this elephant gray chalk paint. Okay, I have all my pieces painted. I have that done, my little craft blocks, and I have my foam dice painted. I can still see a little bit some of the dots, so I'm hoping once I put a little more paint on here, you're not going to be able to see, but I'm going to use this plaster chalk paint from Waverly, and I am going to paint over the gray with that plaster color. Okay, I have 2 coats of the plaster paint on here. Then I'm not seeing any dots or anything, so that's good. But I do want to take my elephant chalk paint again here, and I'm going to do a little bit of distressing on here. Okay, now that I have them all distressed, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my letters on there. And I did cut these off with my Cricut, but you could get the letters from Dollar Tree or wherever. I'm going to use some of this contact paper that I got from Dollar Tree to transfer my letters onto here. I've used this quite a few times, so it looks pretty dirty, so I'm hoping that it's going to stick on there. Usually I can get quite a few uses out of this contact paper. So I am going to put my letters on here. See, it's pretty dirty. And then I'm going to cut them apart, and then I'm going to put them on my blocks. But like I said, you could stencil it on, you can buy letters from Dollar Tree, whatever you want to do. I just use my Cricut to cut them out. So I'm going to get my letters on here. These blocks took a really long time to paint. 2 coats of the gray, 2 coats of the plaster, and then distressing. This project's taking a really long time, but I'm hoping it's going to look really good. Okay, got my letters on there. Okay, now I'm ready to start putting my little project together. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to take my little platform here, and I'm going to put my feet on it. And I'm going to take these little blocks, and they are going to go in the corners here. So I'm just going to use some hot glue and stick each of my little blocks in the corners. Okay, now that those are on, the next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to put my letters on here. And I kind of want them raised up a little bit. So what I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to flip these up here. Okay, flip these up like this. And then I'm going to take these little craft blocks that I got from Dollar Tree, and I am going to raise up my blocks. So I'm just going to attach these to my blocks here. And I am going to put, right now I'm going to put 2 of each on each block. Okay, now that I have 2 of each on, I'm actually going to raise it up just a little bit, and I am going to put double the blocks on all the way across. I want this really to stand up on my platform. So I'm going to go ahead and, whoops, go ahead and double these up on here. Okay, now that I have my blocks on here, I'm going to arrange these on my platform. I'm thinking I'm going to do, that one, well, once it's secure, it'll be fine. I'm thinking I'm going to kind of go a little curved in. I have to get rid of all those glue strings. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, now that I have those attached to my board, I have these flowers from Dollar Tree, and what I was doing is I was just cutting them off of the stem so that I could figure out placement, because these are going to go, I'm going to be sticking them in between my blocks here, but I am going to have to cut the backs of them off a little bit because they're going to stick out a little too far. But I'm going to be filling in those blocks with all of these. So I'm just going to cut a couple of these apart and see if I can arrange these the way I want them. Because I do want them to kind of stick down too. But I do want them to cover up all the blocks in here. And then I'm going to have to put some on the other side too. I'm just going to hot glue them onto here, and then I'm going to worry about cutting the stems afterward. And then I have some just extra leaves I'm going to stick in the middle here. And try not to burn myself with my hot glue gun. That's a big one. And then I have, for right now, I have these two purple ones that I'm going to stick on the end here. On there. Okay, got those all glued on, and then I'm going to flip it around, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some of these stems off. They will be covered by other flowers, but I still need to cut them off, I guess, as short as I can get them. Okay, now that I have the stems cut off, I'm going to take the rest of my flowers here and my greenery, and I am just going to find places to stick it in the back here to kind of fill it in, because the back looks really bad. Okay, I think I have my pieces cut here, and I am just going to go ahead and add them to the back. It's all just kind of a guessing game where it's going to go. I'm just trying to use all the flowers to fill in areas. Okay, now that I have the back all filled in, I'm really not too worried about what the back is going to look like. So if the blocks show back there, it's not such a big deal. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take some of the Spanish moss, because I don't want the blocks to show on the front side. So I'm going to take some of this, and I am going to hot glue it inside here so you can't see the blocks. I'm going to take all this around and hide where the blocks are. So just stick a little bit in here and just throwing hot glue in there and then jamming the Spanish moss underneath. And I'm going to go and make sure that all of this is covered right here with the Spanish moss. Okay, I have all my Spanish moss in there, and it's blocking all the blocks in the front and the back, and it is finished. I don't know, I think it turned out pretty cute. Not exactly what I was expecting, but I think I don't know, I like it. So that's the end of my tutorial. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope you go out and make your own Mother's Day craft. And I hope you subscribe and hit the little bell so you get notified when I upload, and take care. Thanks. Bye.